Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and say hello to Lucy, who wants to be part of the video today, clearly. So I'm making this video, and I'm hoping to get it up tonight, just to answer some questions that I've been getting from people. And this is basically going to tell you exactly how Ray and I finally achieved getting pregnant. So basically, I was asked a question about if I had done anything differently this cycle than the last, 8 cycles. And to answer that question, yes and no, and kinda. So I'm just gonna go through exactly what we did and then just kind of pick out the things that we did differently and the things that we were doing the same and what have you. So the very first thing that I did to achieve getting pregnant was getting ovulation predictor kits. Now, I'm going to give every woman out there who's trying a piece of advice. Do not go and spend, I don't even remember how much it is, like $12 on a 7-day ovulation predictor kit from the pharmacy every cycle to try. I'll tell you right now what I did. I got these from Amazon, and this was less than $20, and it comes with 50 ovulation predictor kits. I'm sorry, 100 ovulation kits and 50 pregnancy test strips. They're both in strip form. And they're by the brand Sun, I believe. You can't see it on here right now. But less than $20 for all of these, and I promise you, they did just fine for me, predicting exactly when I ovulated. So I've also put the link below for my ovulation predictor kit journey that I went through with these and how I kind of documented and logged everything myself. So you can follow that if you'd like to. The one thing with that too, I have been doing the OPKs now for the last 3 cycles, and what that really helped me to discover was just kind of a roundabout day in my cycle of every cycle where I was ovulating. So by cycle 9, I kind of already had an inkling of a roundabout time that I ovulate in my cycle. So it's good to start that right away if you haven't, because people who might think that they're 100% normal and are ovulating on day 14 every cycle, it might not be the case, because I thought that that was the case for me for so long, and it was proven not to be. I was actually ovulating around day 17, 18. So with that, when you take an ovulation test, this is just to clarify anybody who doesn't know, because I didn't know right off the bat either. When you get a positive ovulation test, which it's not a positive if you see a second line, the second line has to be just as dark or darker than the control line that you see on every test. And that is a positive. Otherwise, it's a negative. If you see a faint second line, it means nothing. It means a negative. So with that said, the day you get a positive ovulation test does not mean you're ovulating that day. It actually means that you could be ovulating anywhere between 24 hours and 72 hours after taking that test. So what Ray and I did, the first day we got the positive ovulation, we baby danced, and then we did every day for the next 4 days. And there was also certain way we did that, which this was different than the last few times that we tried too. I had heard an old wives' tale before that if you do your business, which by the way, I do think it's very important to find out what position your cervix is in, so that you know what position you'll be in to be nice and open for the sperm to go where it has to go. I didn't find that out, but I do think it maybe would have helped if I had known. I know some people do have cervixes that sit lower back or sit more forward, and that will affect your chances of getting pregnant depending on where he releases when you're in whatever position you're in. So that is important to find out. But if you just want to go ahead and try, what Ray and I did was we stuck to missionary just to keep everything nice and open. And then after we did what we had to do, I would actually flip around on the bed and keep my feet up against the wall with my legs back for anywhere from like a half hour to 30 minutes. And that means no getting up to clean yourself, no getting up to go pee. You should probably pee beforehand so you're not worrying about that, so everything can just be left in there to do what it has to do. And me being on YouTube and stuff, that was fine for me. I sat back and I had my feet up and I'm watching YouTube for, it was like 45 minutes I laid there. So I let as much get through as you possibly could. So that is one thing that we did differently that I had actually tried once before, probably on cycle like 5 or 6. It was over a year ago that we tried that, and I ended up getting a UTI, which can happen because if you don't clean yourself up, and they do say like you should go pee after because like to prevent getting a UTI. So if that happens, I'm sorry, but it's either, you know, you could end up getting a UTI but still getting pregnant. So I mean, that's entirely up to you if you want to do it that way. I do believe that helped us because I know I would normally just like, okay, I just want to get clean and I gotta go pee now and then we're good, you know. So that was one thing we did differently. Another thing that I think was important for us getting pregnant was for 2 months before getting pregnant, I had been taking prenatal vitamins, and I was making sure to take prenatal vitamins that have folic acid. Something with the folic acid actually helps the actual follicle. I don't know exactly the whole scientific background about the whole thing, but I do know that it's really good to be taking a prenatal with folic acid when you are trying. And I've heard some people try to tell me that, you know, oh, you know, I've heard people have reactions when they're not pregnant and they're taking them. Honestly, all a prenatal is like a super multivitamin, so it really shouldn't cause any problems. I was fine with taking the prenatals beforehand. So that's another thing that I do think is crucial to be doing when you are trying. Another thing I liked to do was just trying to keep somewhat of a balanced diet. If you've seen videos of mine in the past, you'll know that I am not like a crazy strict healthy person. I do, however, I always try to have a green a day. I always try to have fruit at least once a day, and literally my liquid consumption consists of water. When I was drinking coffee, it was coffee. I stopped obviously being pregnant, and that's really it. The occasional green tea I would have, but water is so important to keep everything nice and clear on your insides, and just a healthy diet just to keep everything kind of balanced. So if you have a very unhealthy diet, I would change that right away if you are trying to become pregnant. If you have a moderately healthy but you don't deprive yourself of anything, and when you're in the mood for something you just eat it like me, I don't think you'll have too much of a problem as long as you're mostly, you know, like you're not completely unhealthy with your diet. And honestly, the one other thing I can say that was done differently this time around was I was not stressing about it. I was actually, for the last few months, and especially because the month of October was my due date for my first pregnancy, and around that time every year I just get very anxiety ridden and stressed out, and that I feel like it put a lot more pressure to get pregnant because it's just a reminder of like when I was and all that kind of stuff. And even if you haven't miscarried before, in the cases that you've been trying, and you know, every time your period comes to an end you just automatically get stressed out and anxious and eager, I mean, it's 100% normal, but I would say it's very important to try to focus on something other than am I pregnant or am I not? And you know, waiting for that 2-week wait to just come and go, and just driving yourself nuts, because I would do that every cycle, and I feel like that added stress doesn't help anything either. And I do know that's a true thing, and I'm sure a lot of people know that the added stress will mess up your cycle. It will mess up the time of your ovulation. It also could cause your body not to even release an egg because you have overstressed yourself. So this cycle I actually was planning in depth right in my wedding, which is now going to be pushed back because obviously we have other things to save up for, but I was strictly focused on planning this wedding and wasn't even, not that I wasn't thinking about the possibility of being pregnant, but it was not my main focus by any means. I made sure that I focused on something that gave me, you know, a similar amount of joy and just something to look forward to, that it preoccupied me almost entirely, to the point where even I wasn't expecting to be pregnant at all this cycle. This is actually the first cycle, and I don't know how long that I wasn't, by, you know, 6 days DPO, you know, wondering and hoping and wishing and praying and stressing myself out. I was really just not even trying to worry about it. But even more so, because I wasn't so far gone into it, I wasn't really thinking like, okay, you really are. It was actually more so just like, oh, you know, well, I don't really think I am, you know, just because it hasn't been successful this far. And you know, if I'm not, it's okay because we're planning the wedding and this and that. And it just so happened to be that I was, without even knowing. So I do think it's very, very, very important to try your hardest. I know it's hard. Trust me, I got sick and tired of people telling me, you just have to think about something else. You have to stop worrying about it so much. You have to stop thinking about it. I mean, I know when you desire to be a mother, when you really desire for anything, how do you not think about it? You can't. But you can if you decide for yourself to find something to really focus on and give yourself something to look forward to, whatever it is. I can throw out a list of options, you know, not even knowing who you are. You know, if you have been planning to save up money to go get something you wanted, start really focusing on setting up a budget, setting up how much money you're gonna put away a week, and just focus on that. Focus on your income and your budgeting. If you know, had an idea of remodeling a room in your house, focus on that. Start doing some research on exactly what you want. Start doing some research on, you know, the more inexpensive routes you can take. Start looking on Pinterest, looking at different ideas. Just really try to focus your attention on something to look forward to other than being pregnant. Let that be what it will be. So that's pretty much exactly how I got the job done, guys. It's as simple as that. I did and have been doing for the last almost 2 years a lot of research on just how to naturally get pregnant, and have been just trying everything that I read, and you know, eventually we got it down. And I really hope that this maybe helps somebody out there who's been trying, and hopefully in a couple weeks to a month that someone can respond and tell me, hey, you know, I did exactly what you told me to and I'm pregnant. I really pray for that, because I feel like every desiring mother deserves to feel the type of excitement that I have finally felt after trying for so long. And I just really hope to help somebody with making this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will put a link below of my YouTube announcement video, which is totally different from my big announcement that I will be posting in about a week or so, because I am 11 weeks today. And I will also be doing a first trimester video, but I'm going to wait on that until I hit week 13, just to totally get through my first trimester first and actually really experience the whole thing, because honestly from week to week I feel like different things do happen. So I don't want to leave that whole last week of the first trimester out for it to be, you know, not entirely true. So you can look forward to that in a couple weeks, and there's going to be a lot more to come with this journey. So if you are interested in following along with Ray and I, then go ahead and subscribe. And thank you guys so much for watching and for all your support thus far. And baby dust to all of you. I love you guys, and I'm praying that you all get your BFP very soon. So thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.